Welcome to Locked On's Top 50 Most Valuable NFL Players, presented by the Summer of Dave. Dave is the banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. I'm Kainani Stevens. This isn't just your normal MVP conversation. This list was built in conjunction with our sponsors at BetOnline. This list is about the value of a player when it comes to making the point spread for each game. So, how much does your favorite player move the line? Stick with us all week long to find out as we release 10 players each day from our top 50 list. Naturally, it's going to include a ton of quarterbacks, but who else cracked the top 50 and which quarterback is the most valuable? We'll break it all down with our Locked On hosts who cover these teams every single day. We'll kick it off with BetOnline's 50th most valuable player, Trevon Diggs, cornerback of the Dallas Cowboys.
Is Trevon Diggs one of the most valuable players in the NFL? Hi, I'm Marcus Mosher with Locked On Cowboys, and BetOnline ranked Trevon Diggs as the 50th most valuable player in the NFL heading into the 2022 season. We know he is a controversial cornerback, as some people love the interceptions, but certainly don't love the amount of yards he gives up. What I do know and what we do know is that he is one of the most game-changing defenders out there. At any moment, he can take over a game. With his ability to make plays on the ball in the air. He is a gambling cornerback that more often than not does create big splash plays. And when it comes to betting and when it comes to gambling lines, that makes a difference, as the Cowboys were number one in turnovers last year. And if he could be a little bit more consistent on the plays that aren't turnovers and aren't splash plays and takeaways, he could easily become one of the most valuable defensive backs in the entire NFL. For more, make sure you guys check out the Locked On Cowboys podcast as well as the Locked On NFL podcast.
Diggs will certainly not be the only Cowboy on the list, so you can follow Locked On Cowboys for a reaction to all of the Cowboys that made this list. At 49, we are sticking with defense and heading to the defending Super Bowl champions with Jalen Ramsey, cornerback for the Los Angeles Rams.
This one feels about right. The best corner in the NFL coming in the top 50, no question about it. My name is Travis Rodgers. I host Locked On Rams, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for checking us out. Here's what makes Jalen Ramsey so valuable to what the Rams do. The Rams not only have a lockdown corner on one side of the field who can do whatever it is you need him to do on any given Sunday. He can take your best player away, go ask DeAndre Hopkins. You can put him in the slot, go ask George Kittle, and completely take that player out of the game. But I think even more importantly than that is what Jalen Ramsey allows the guy on the other side of the field to do, and especially for the Rams, meaning that they don't have to go out and spend a high draft pick and trying to find somebody. That Jalen Ramsey is so good that you can just take a bunch of lower draft picks on that other side of the field and figure it out along the way, because you're going to get one guy right out of 3 or 4 picks along the side. That's how valuable Jalen Ramsey is. That's why the Rams have been good for more or less the moment that he showed up. For more on the Rams, make sure you check out the Locked On Rams podcast every single day and our Locked On Rams YouTube channel.
The Super Bowl champs are going to have a ton of players on this list, but how high will they make it? Their next player comes in right at 48 and might be the most dominant defender in the NFL. BetOnline has Aaron Donald, defensive end for the Rams, up next.
Back-to-back Rams on the list. Aaron Donald is already off the board. How in the world have we gotten here? I don't know. I have no idea why Aaron Donald is checking in where he is, because last time I looked, if you are the best player in the league, if you are one of the best players in the history of the league, if you are one of the best players ever on that side of the ball, that you should probably be somewhere a little bit higher than this. Here's what I know for sure. When Aaron Donald plays, the Rams have a chance to win every single game that they are in. When he does not, and it doesn't happen very often, or if he's just limited with an injury, like we saw a couple of years ago in Green Bay in the playoffs, the Rams are an entirely different team. I don't know if anybody that is a non-quarterback has more of an impact on a game than number 99 does for the Rams. He has since he's shown up, and he has since he leaves this team, whenever that day will be. For more on the Rams, make sure you check us out, Locked On Rams, right here in your podcast feed. And you can also check us out on the Locked On Rams YouTube page. My name is Travis Rodgers.
Aaron Donald may be the most dominant defensive player in the NFL right now, but according to BetOnline, he doesn't move the betting line as much as some other defenders since Aaron has a strong Super Bowl winning roster around him. A player that does not have much strength around him, that would be Myles Garrett, defensive end for the Cleveland Browns, and he cracks the BetOnline list at number 47.
This is Jeff Lloyd, host of Locked On Browns. Now, I understand in an offense-driven league, the way the NFL is played in the 2020s, that it is more difficult for a defensive player to win the MVP. But we are talking about Myles Garrett, a player over the last 2 seasons, had 28 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery for a touchdown last year. For defensive players to be considered for the MVP award, there needs to be MVP moments. You saw that in a game last year against the Chicago Bears when Myles Garrett had 5 sacks. You saw it against the win over the Ravens last year where he had a crucial sack, strip, and score for a touchdown. Myles Garrett should be ranked much higher. In October, he will become the all-time leader in sacks for the Cleveland Browns. For more on Myles Garrett and his importance to the Cleveland Browns, check out Locked On Browns on your favorite podcast platform.
Speaking of the Cleveland Browns, this list was made with the uncertainty of Myles' new teammate, Deshaun Watson, and without knowing when he will play next. We left him off of our list completely. He simply cannot move a betting line if he's not playing this season. For the latest on the Browns and Deshaun Watson, stay tuned in to Locked On Browns and check out the all-new Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show as well. Coming up, it wouldn't be an NFL list without a member of the Watt family. Is it JJ or TJ cracking the top 50 this year? That's coming up next. Our Locked On Top 50 Most Valuable Players list is, of course, brought to you by BetOnline, the number one spot for all of your online sports gambling needs. And with football right around the corner, you want to head over there. You can also get in on the action for all of your other favorite sports, golf, boxing, baseball. Just head over to betonline.net where the game starts. Continuing our Locked On NFL Top 50 Most Valuable Players list, presented by the Summer of Dave. Dave is the banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. For the last decade, you couldn't have an NFL list that didn't include J.J. Watt, but this is a new era, and his brother T.J. is the Watt member making our top 50 list. In at 46 is T.J. Watt, defensive end for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
TJ Watt coming in on this list shows that it's obvious that people recognize how impactful he is on games. But is 46 too low? Steelers fans would probably say yes, because if you look back at last year, in games which he got a sack, the Steelers were 8-2-1. When he didn't, they were 1-5. It was clear that when the Steelers were playing at their best, it was because TJ Watt was playing at his best and leading the charge. While, sure, he's not a quarterback nor a running back, and he's not going to touch the ball most times in the game, every time he was on the field, he was a demonstrative force that was going to allow the Steelers a chance to win the game. You even saw his touchdown that he scored against the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoff game, which was the only time the Steelers felt like they had a chance against the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. No, TJ Watt's not as impactful on the betting lines as a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen, but he may be the most impactful and should be listed as the most impactful player on defense.
The second Cowboy on our countdown, linebacker Micah Parsons, goes into his second season with the Defensive Rookie of the Year award and first-team All-Pro recognition to his name. The sky is the limit for the number 45 player on our list, Micah Parsons, linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons is ranked as the 45th most important and most valuable player in the league, according to BetOnline. Is that too high? Micah Parsons was nearly the Defensive Player of the Year last year. He won the Rookie of the Year award. But is he already one of the most valuable defenders in the league? According to BetOnline, he is ahead of players like Aaron Donald and TJ Watt. Watt, who won the Defensive Player of the Year award last year. And it's not all that surprising. Micah Parsons is one of the most dominant players in the NFL that we've seen. He should have an even bigger role for the Cowboys here in year 2 under Dan Quinn. And it wouldn't be a shock at all if he did win the Defensive Player of the Year award. His odds are just behind TJ Watt and Aaron Donald. We shall see if he's able to take home that award this year. Make sure you follow and subscribe to the Locked On Cowboys podcast, wherever you get your podcast, for all of your Cowboys needs.
We're going to keep things in Dallas, just move to the other side of the ball. In his second season on the field, our number 44 player picked up his first 1,000-yard receiving season and a Pro Bowl selection. This year, he'll try to solidify himself as Dak Prescott's number 1 target. And number 44, CeeDee Lamb, Dallas Cowboys wide receiver.
CeeDee Lamb is listed as the 44th most valuable player in the league according to BetOnline. Is that too low? CeeDee Lamb is in for a huge year this year with the Cowboys. Remember, Amari Cooper traded away to the Cleveland Browns. Cedric Wilson leaves in free agency to the Dolphins. Michael Gallup scheduled to miss the first 4, maybe even 6 games of the season. If the Cowboys want to have any success at making the playoffs this year or any chance of making the playoffs and making a deep run, they're going to need CeeDee Lamb to play like an absolute superstar. Don't rule out the possibility of him leading the NFL in targets, catches, yards, and touchdowns this year. He is going to get absolutely flooded with targets early in the season, and he could be maybe a sleeper in the MVP candidacy. Make sure you check out the Locked On Cowboys podcast and subscribe wherever you get podcasts, as it's free and available every single day.
Coming up, some of the best pass catchers in the league round out the first 10 players of our top 50 list. But who makes it? That's coming up next. Locked On's top 50 most valuable NFL players is brought to you by the Summer of Dave. We've all been in that spot where we needed some extra money really fast, whether it's just because of these high gas prices, if you have a wedding coming up or you're moving, whatever it is, we've all felt the pinch before. And Dave can really help you out with that. It's a banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. You don't have any interest. There's no credit check involved in this. You just need to download the Dave app from the App Store right now. That's DAVE. You sign up for an extra cash account and you can get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees do apply. Banking provided by Evolve, member FDIC. Continuing our Locked On NFL Top 50 Most Valuable Players list presented by the Summer of Dave. Dave is the banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. Maybe the most feared receiver in all of football is on a new team, but that won't stop him from moving the lines this season and cracking our top 50 list. At number 43, the speed demon, Tyreek Hill.
Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill, part of an exclusive club. Kyle Krabs of Locked On Dolphins, and Tyreek Hill is one of the Miami Dolphins players to make the most valuable players of 2022, according to the BetOnline odds. And here's the fun fact about Tyreek Hill. There's a ton of quarterbacks on this list, and there's about one skill player for half the teams in the league to get the distinction beyond quarterback of being on that list. And Tyreek Hill being amongst them gives the Dolphins their most impact, high-level, elite player that they have had for a very, very long time. And there's no question that his speed, along with that of Jalen Waddle, on the perimeter in a run-heavy offense is going to force some difficult decisions for opposing defensive coordinators. Get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Tyreek Hill is going to showcase it wasn't just that Kansas City offense that gave him all of his value.
One of Tyreek Hill's former teammates comes in just above him at 42, and with Hill out of Kansas City, he could become even more important to the Chiefs' offense. Looking to make his 8th consecutive Pro Bowl, number 42 is Travis Kelce, Kansas City Chiefs tight end.
Travis Kelce is absolutely the best tight end in the NFL, and this proves it. I am Chris Clark from Locked On Chiefs. Thank you for watching. This is one of those things where you watch how valuable he's been for Kansas City for the past several seasons, and it just doesn't paint the full picture. You're going to see this season exactly why he is so valuable for Kansas City. Without Tyreek Hill, he is going to open up the middle of the field. He is going to open up and get open in zones. He's going to help the other wide receivers in Kansas City continue to make this offense for Kansas City be one of the best in the NFL, and I'm looking forward to it. He is getting his due being on this list. This is a list made of mostly quarterbacks, some wide receivers, some running backs, a couple of defensive players, but he is the only tight end, and he deserves to be the only tight end. He has absolutely changed the game when it comes to that position over the past 6 or 7 seasons, and he is due to be the best player at his position group again this season. For more, go check out Locked On Chiefs.
The final player we will reveal today burst onto the scene in 2021 with 1,400 receiving yards, good enough for first-team All-Pro honors and his first Pro Bowl selection. He led the league in yards per catch, and he's one of the most dangerous big play threats in the game. Number 41, Deebo Samuel, wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers.
Deebo Samuel is in contract disputes with the San Francisco 49ers, but that should not stop you from thinking this guy's a top 50 player and one of the most impactful players in all of the NFL. I'm Eric Crocker, host of Locked On 49ers and Locked On NFL Draft. I'm here to tell you why Deebo Samuel's ranking at 41 is too low. All right, y'all, let's talk about Deebo Samuel. And I know the NFL, it's a quarterback-driven league. Those guys are going to be pushed up these rankings in the sense of importance to the league and to their teams. But Deebo Samuel was dang near more important than even the quarterback on their team. Jimmy Garoppolo last season, this is a guy who carried and wheeled the 49ers to the NFC Championship game. You don't typically see that from a receiver. But whether it was Week 18 and his explosive performance against the LA Rams, or how about in the playoffs against the Dallas Cowboys when he told Kyle Shanahan, get me the ball. Quarterback, all you got to do is hand the ball off to him. He ran in for the touchdown. He's a guy who threw for touchdowns in key moments, ran for touchdowns in key moments, caught for touchdowns in key moments. And, by the way, Green Bay Packer game, blistering cold 49ers said, man, we need a spark. They put him back for kickoff return. What did he do? Return the ball to midfield. This is a guy who does it all and should be higher on this list than 41. It's almost disrespectful. Deebo Samuel needs to be higher on this list. He is one of the top 10 most important players to their team, and he's going to prove it this year.
That right there is a ton of talent. We are just getting started as well. Make sure you tune in tomorrow to see which of your favorite players crack the Locked On NFL Top 50 Most Valuable Players according to BetOnline, where the game starts. Some QBs will enter the chat, and it's going to cause some chaos. Follow your favorite Locked On NFL show to get more analysis of our Top 50 list. Locked On, your team every day.